Hi guys and welcome to Scott's Minis. I'm your host Scott. Welcome to my brand new channel. What I've decided to do is I've over the last good number of years collecting and building Games Workshop miniatures, I've came to realization over this last couple of years because of their price increases that there are huge alternatives out there across the miniature market. Now hopefully what I'm going to be able to show you guys is the various different miniature suppliers that you can incorporate into your games of 40k or Age of Sigmar. Just showing that there's excellent alternatives out there. To give you a little bit of background about myself, I've been collecting and building miniatures over the last 30 years. Off and on, really, the last sort of couple of years where other things got in my life, but ultimately coming back to Games Workshop and being so blown away by and impressed by the miniatures that they were producing. We've got a big love for things like the Imperial Guard and a little bit of Space Marines as well. I've collected many different armies, but what the big thing I've always found is with Games Workshop is always about the pricing and how expensive it's getting as a hobby, as I'm pretty sure you guys are all pretty much aware. Times are tough for the majority of us just now, and we're all just trying to keep this hobby as cheap as what we can, but also get some fantastic miniatures. And hopefully over this next couple of weeks I can show you guys what I've come across. Now for some of you might have been already aware of this company, but I came across this the other day. It was Zealot Miniatures. Now basically with Zealot Miniatures, they're a UK based company, and what they do is they produce and manufacture their own range of miniatures. They offer up a design service, 3D printing service, resin casting as well, along with the full range of miniatures. I actually had a good look at most of their range here. I was quite blown away by the fact that the sci-fi had a lot of really cool models that I thought could incorporate into my Imperial Guard army. Fantasy, I actually had a little look into as well. There's a little bit of chaos and just various armies you could incorporate that quite into. The busts I've never really kind of bought into before, but I found some of those quite interesting as well. They offer up the scenery as well and terrain pieces and just a whole manner of things. So taking a quick look into first of all the sci-fi part of it, if we go up to shop, if you guys want to visit this website, it's www.zealotminiatures.com, and if you actually go into sci-fi, you'll see the kind of things that I had a quick look at. Click into this. Let's have a look down and see. So when I've had a first look on this, I was absolutely blown away by the kind of price range. It seems to be almost about half the price of Games Workshop miniatures. Fair enough, I know that we can all go down maybe the eBay route or go into kind of Facebook selling sites and buy second hand and things like that. But what I found sometimes that route is you're buying miniatures, sometimes they're not. You've got little bits missing, or it can always be a risk buying off of those sites. Not to say that it's not a bad thing, because you can pick up a great bargain. But what I've found is with some of these sites that I'm looking at now, that you're picking up fantastic individual character models. Like for instance, this one here, Commissar Stukov. I actually had a look at this model, and I just thought that would be absolutely perfect in my Imperial Guard army as one of my main commissars. Definitely one of those. If we go back, Judette Van Graff, the Inquisitor. I thought that would be a fantastic Also another cracking model to add in. If we go back, there was one here that I saw that I absolutely loved. The Void Navigator Regimental Advisor. Now that would work quite well as a Psyker model, and I've thought about getting this one. Again, it's at 28mm scale. Absolutely phenomenal miniature. So as we go into the next sort of part, fantasy models, you know, I found that I did quite a lot of kind of Chaos, Beastmen, those sort of models. You know, me personally, when I'm buying kind of Age of Sigmar or Fantasy Battle models, I always like the dwarf models. I always like the kind of facial features of that. If that's not your thing, you know, you can always look down at these routes, and they've got absolutely loads and loads of choice here. This one really sprang out to me, the Undead Dead Dwarf King. I thought that looked absolutely cracking as a miniature. Again, price really reasonable. I will mention as well, guys, that with these miniatures, for the delivery costs, it's actually quite reasonable as well. I mean, you were looking at, for a miniature that size, at that price range, it was coming in at about £3, £4 for their delivery costs. I would have thought, unfortunately, with the situation that we're all going through just now, possibly getting the package delivered out to you guys quick sharp, I mean, I would think it might take a couple extra days, but delivery time actually looks pretty good for getting the miniatures out. Having a look at this one here, Alenia Elf Archer, you know, absolutely phenomenal looking mini, really great pose, you know, with the arrow there, and just looks absolutely belting every way that you look at it. The one that I actually really liked was a model that was this one here. It was a Chaos Lord. For all you fans of Nurgle out there, you know, I thought that would be just absolutely phenomenal as a kind of a demon prince. You know, it is standing a fair bit taller than your normal miniatures, but like I say, bigger is better sometimes. But having a look through here, you know, Corrupted Minotaur, absolutely cracking miniature again. If I look at something like this, and I can see the price range is about 20 quid, maybe add on an extra 5-6 quid possibly for the postage cost, you know, it's certainly worthwhile, where I think something like Games Workshop would be about 50-60 quid potentially for a model like that. Just having a good look over the website, you know, it's really well done. Let's have a look at Sci-Fi Terrain as well. You know, you've got your usual kind of 3D printed extra bits there. You know, a defense turret, that would be really good to have in your games of 40k. And also having a look over, you know, you could have that as your Sisters of Battle, objective markers. Certainly it offers up a lot of choice, a lot of really good casting parts. But for the bases and stuff, you know, when I've been dealing through this hobby that I think that we all love, sometimes I think bases can be a little bit overlooked, and I've been quite old school in my hobby and how I've really gone about it. I think this last couple of years, what I've realised is, with the bases, all I ever used to do was use Goblin Green, dip a bit of flock on the top, and that was it. But as I've kind of grown back into the hobby, I've kind of realised that you can get these really nicely detailed bases that kind of make your miniature pop out and stand out there as well. pretty reasonable costs for what we're looking at. And yeah, so zealotminiatures.com, it's worth a visit. I'll certainly be buying from there pretty soon. I've got a couple of bits and pieces that I really want to get from there. Certainly the dwarfs would that's the ones I want to personally get. But if if you're an orc player, you've got your kind of real old school orcs as well. But like I say, guys, it's what I'm trying to show you is that there is good alternatives out there, and hopefully with over the next couple of weeks that I can show you guys the various different suppliers out there, and it's going to make you kind of go, yeah, I do want to get a miniature from there, or I want to just get something really alternative. So like I say, guys, that's it for me today, and hopefully you've enjoyed my first video. Remember to hit the subscribe and smash those like buttons as well, and if you've got any comments, please just put it at the please comment away, and let me know if you know of any alternative UK or miniature suppliers out there across the world that I think I should be looking at, or anything that you would honestly think stands out. All comments are welcome, and thanks again, guys.